curious what your take is on when and how you found out about Mags not making it and what that process was like for you to go through kind of coming to terms with it.
Yeah, I found out right away at the beginning before we started shooting. Joe called me, Joseph K, who's the creator and showrunner, and he called me right, before we started the season, telling me that that's where it was heading. And I'm gonna be honest, I loved it. As an actor, I thought this was gonna be such a heartbreaking and because we're not used to choosing this kind of ending, like we're used to they're going to get together, they're going to be happy, she's going to do the fellowship, he's going to go and open his clinic, and they're going to live happily ever after, and you want that obviously, but it's such a big curveball that you don't expect that, like, uh as a the journey for this character and for me as an actor to play that was wonderful. So I thought it was breaking my heart, but I in a good way. I thought it was a really good idea and very daring to do that from the creators. Yeah.
Well, and it's fascinating because Mags is so hyper aware for much of the hour that something is not right. What did that mean
Yeah.
for you as a performer and the person who's played this character for so
Mm-hmm.
many years to know that she was so smart and tragically aware of what was going
Yeah.
on until the very end?
Well, that's what was exciting to play also these two doctors, her and Bash, that are like such pros and know what's going on to when complications are starting to arise, and like their kind of calmness in the whole thing was a very interesting thing to play and very different than going to panic mode and, like, how we would usually react as normal human beings. But so that was really fun and different. And Stefan Plashinsky, the director, gave me a note at one point which really stuck with me. He said, when the ambulance are coming to get me at the apartment that first time to get me to the hospital, he was like, that's where she begins to hear this waterfall that nobody else can hear. And as she gets closer to the hospital, she knows she's nearing the waterfall that she keeps hearing on her own. And that really stuck with me. And I thought it was such a strong image. So I just kept hearing the waterfall, and I knew I was alone in it and I was the only one hearing it. So in a way, she knew that. I don't think she expected this to happen, death, but I think she knew this was going somewhere not pleasant and not happy,
Yeah,
which is sad. Yeah.
absolutely. Well, before we even got there, we got a really lovely scene with Mags and June. What did it mean for you to kind of get that moment of them talking to each other and also her expressing,
Mm.
to June, hey, you have a person who loves you right here. You have a connection.
Yeah. Well, it's great that that was their last scene. I think that it was important for June to hear from her friend that, she is loved and she can be loved, and she just has to stay herself, and she will be loved. And that friendship was so precious. I think that they understood each other in a way that nobody else did. They understood the boundaries, the space, and the sometimes no space that they both needed, and the way that they talk to each other. I really loved that. It's so nice to see a strong and different friendship, female friendship on screen. So yeah, I like that last scene of them together. Mm.
Speaking of last scenes, before I let you go, what can you share about filming your last scene of Mags and Bash before she loses consciousness? What can you kind of share memory-wise and just the process of filming that scene?
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible in a good way, in a sense of like there was like a mood on set. It was very special. There was sort of an energy that everybody was sort of quietly doing this, and as we were nearing the elevator moment, and then it just, I guess, happens all of a sudden. Then all of a sudden it was done, and all of a sudden the scene was over. But I felt very connected to Hamza this whole time. Like, we both loved Mags, and I felt him so invested in this, and so was Stefan, our director. Like, you know it's the end of an era. Really, it was the end of something bigger than just Mags, even the end of this project, the end of something. So it was lovely. Yeah.